Gentlemen, my name is Brock Beckett, and today I'll be talking about the movie Marty Supreme. Now, Marty Supreme is a movie I just saw recently, and it is about a table tennis player who is basically struggling and attempting to compete on a national stage. Now, this movie, I'm gonna be honest, straight up, this movie is fantastic, and it is one of the more exciting, invigorating, and truly unique movies that I've seen in a while. That being said, when I started the movie, like the first 30 minutes of the movie, I was a little nervous. I didn't know exactly if I was going to like it or not. Number one, the main character, based off your first impressions of him, he isn't really a likable guy. You know what I mean? A lot of times, shows, movies, things like that, they kind of go out of their way, especially when introducing a protagonist, to go out of their way to show why you should like this protagonist, whether it's a superhero saving somebody, or an act of kindness, or maybe even some adversity. That is generally done in order to draw sympathy from the audience. However, this movie, from the start, they very much portray this main character as being cocky and arrogant. And, cocky and arrogant aren't exactly things that um endear an audience to a character. So with that in mind, I was a little iffy. Like, am I going to enjoy watching this character? Number one. Number two, I didn't know how interested I would be in table tennis. I'm into pickleball, but table tennis, I've never really watched it that seriously or thought too much of it. So I didn't know if a whole movie centered on that would keep me interested. Now, that being said, both of these concerns by the end were a thing of the past. You know what I mean? These concerns left right around the hour mark, because what you come to find out in watching this movie is that this movie knows how to create absolutely insane situations. Like, I don't think I've watched a movie that knows how to just create these absolutely wild, insane, who would have thought that this would happen moments like this movie does. Just off the top of my head, certain moments that come up to me are when Marty falls through the ceiling onto a guy's arm. He falls down through the ceiling in a bathtub onto a guy's arm, and that leads to a whole other situation um, that I found very interesting. But I'm just going to take this movie piece by piece when I review it. So essentially, he becomes part of a competition, a tournament, and he is going against a Japanese player, and he ends up losing to him. And basically, the majority of the movie is to him trying to get money so he can um, get a flight to Japan to challenge him again, essentially. But basically, that leads to just a whole bunch of insane, wild scenarios. And when I say this, I give a lot of credit to the movie's pacing. Even though this movie is 2 hours and 30 minutes long, this movie is like this in terms of its pacing. There's never really a dull moment. There's always things happening. There's always excitement. And then that kind of is what turned me over on the character. A couple things, but number one is the fact that even though he's not the most typical protagonist in terms of likability, he's entertaining. I mean, just the way he interacts with people, the way he tries to I guess, manipulate people to get what he wants, and how he is just basically, he's singular focused. He has a goal, and he's willing to do anything, and I mean anything, to achieve it. And that is admirable. I mean, he is still cocky and arrogant, but that part that I originally looked at it as being a negative of why I wouldn't like the character. By the end, they really put that cockiness and arrogance to the test, because this character gets put in some situations within this movie that are without a doubt, humbling. I mean, this guy by the end, he's humbled, and by the end, like the final shot of the movie is just him truly. The humbleness is just. I think it all hits him at once, and it leads to him, shedding tears to end the movie with the birth of his daughter or son, but probably a daughter. But yeah, no, I mean, it really, honestly, I think this is a must-see movie for almost anybody. And like I said, ping pong, tennis, I'm not tennis, ping pong. You don't have to be into ping pong to watch this. Let me just get that out the way because there are some ping pong scenes, but I'd say the majority of the movie is not ping pong specific scenes. You know what I mean? So that was something that was not uh, an issue for me or anybody who's watching it. A couple things to note: Tyler Creator is actually in this movie, and he has a decent role, and I think he does a good job. I think for a rapper crossing over into acting, I think he nailed it. I think his character was definitely one of my favorites. He brought a lot. He brought a lot to the role, and I mean, as far as the performance um, from Timothy. I think this is really going to be the movie that kind of, puts him in that other stratosphere of actor. Because, I mean, I watched Dune, but I definitely feel like Dune, at least for part one and kind of part two, was a more reserved, more contained performance. Here he really gets to show off how he is like one of the best actors in the business right now. I mean, he honestly, and this is just me kind of looking back on it now and really just thinking about it, he carries this movie. And not to say that other people aren't doing well, but this movie does not work if Timothy doesn't do what he just did, which is just ball out, for lack of a better term. I mean, he just goes in with this character and he absolutely nails it. Um, I have nothing but good things to say about his performance. Um, so that's the main things I wanted to talk about. Absolutely go see this movie. I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10. And the reason I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10 is because damn it, I enjoyed this movie 100%. There aren't any major flaws with it. 10 out of 10, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a perfect film because there is no perfect film, but for what you want in a movie to be entertained for 2 hours and 30 minutes and have constant intrigue, constantly intense situations, constant action, constant drama, you get that out of this movie. 10 out of 10. Thank you for watching this interview. Interview? What? Thank you for watching this review.